Okay, hey everyone, welcome to our team Zoom. I'm super excited because you guys have heard enough out of me for the past few weeks. So I invited Miss Patrice Garrison onto our call. She and I met at a top 100, I think, yeah, top 99 happy hour thing at Green Carpet. And found out that she was pretty local. So some of you have met her before at our One Team One Mission that we did, I don't know, in one of the other counties, Howard County, I think. And her excitement and energy is completely infectious, and she rocks Instagram, and we all know that I don't rock Instagram. So I'm really excited for you guys to get to hear from her because you guys are all going to love her if you don't already. So and first and foremost, congratulations on your baby.
Thank you.
So exciting. I have ran a business when pregnant, so have fun with that.
I'm saying, I fell asleep. I didn't know I was pregnant yet, and I'm sleeping on the floor like, why can't I wake up? I have a Zoom call. I'm like, Corey, please take the computer. Like, I'm falling asleep. So here we are. I got green so I don't fall asleep on you guys. We're just going to rock it.
I love it. I love it. So let's just get rolling. Let's hear your story. Let's hear, where you came from and all of that fun stuff.
Awesome. So I am Patrice. I'm a presidential diamond down the street from Amber, kind of. I'm in Baltimore, and I started about 3 years ago. So I saw It Works. Well, I heard of it actually prior to seeing it. I had a coworker who was a belly dancer, and she looked amazing, and she was having a rep party. But one of my biggest aha moments looking back on that experience, I never saw her results. So she invited me to a party, but I didn't see a before and after, and she's always kind of been small. So she has 2 kids. I'm sure she got awesome results, and that's why she was doing this, but I just never saw. So I was like Googling it. I'm on Amazon reading all the reviews. And I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of broke. I'm in college. Let me just skip out. So it took me 2 years to say yes to a rep. And someone else in a different job, different experience said, hey, this girl I went to college with, just like look at her before and after picture. So I saw my first before and after picture from a phone from a friend, wasn't even on my own feed. And I'm like, well, whatever it is, I have like some lunch money I won't spend. We're just going to get this wrap thing. Will there be pizza there? And she's like, no. So I'm like, okay, fine. I'll still come. So we go to this party just for fun. With where I was in life, I didn't have the, go out and have fun budget. I didn't have a shopping budget. So hanging out with my friends didn't happen as often because I was living check to check. I had my master's degree. I had a career. But with the student loan debt and being entry level into my field, I just wasn't making what I thought I would make. And just little things were kind of expensive, like gas and groceries. So we are excited to go just try this thing out. I drag a friend from high school with me. We don't even care if it works or not. We're just going to have a good time. And as we sat through the party, it was simple, but it was fun because friends are there and you make new friends and you got your friends with you, and we just had a ball. But I actually got results, which I didn't care if I didn't. Actually, I'm lying. I did want results. I had a love handle issue that never goes away. So when I saw improvements in my love handles in 45 minutes, I'm like, okay, so we got something here. And everyone in the room, maybe 8 of us total, everyone saw something. It wasn't all drastic, as you guys know, but most folks see something in that first wrap. So I'm like, wait a minute, I have people that I know that would love this thing. And if I could somehow get this wrap and make this $200 this girl just made from wrapping us in 15 minutes total, I may be able to do something with this. So me launching into It Works was it was divine intervention, but in my mind, it was just whatever. We're just going to see what happens with this. But that joining process for me took 3 days. And about 25 questions, about 15 a day. I was like, hey, it's me again. Not sure if you remember me from yesterday, but I have more questions for you. So I was that prospect. I needed to know that what happens if I failed. I needed to know what would happen if I couldn't do this long term. Is this going to cost me more money if I can't do this? Because I just had nothing to spare. And here we are 3 years later. So we ran with it, not having any expectations, just kind of having fun. My husband's like, what are you doing? I don't know about that thing at all. It took him a little while to join, but not a little while, but maybe like 90 days of me consistently making rap cash, paying for his Chinese food, that kind of thing. And then having that first huge pastor bonus check of $600 in my mind was just like, oh my gosh, like the world's going to end. Like, where's all this money coming from? It's not even payday. So with all those experiences, we decided to partner and do this thing together. So within my first 6 months, I'm triple diamond. All of a sudden making six figures when all I came to make was $600. And at that point, life just shifted so quickly, guys. You know, I became full-time with It Works. So actually in 2 or 3 weeks will be my third year being home full-time, which is crazy. And just being able to be a stay-at-home wife now, which I always would ask him, like, what do you think about me being a stay-at-home wife one day? And he's like, never? Okay, no problem. So the fact that I actually get to do this is fun, but more so just be able to fulfill my purpose. As Amber said, I mean, you guys can kind of tell I love people. I get my energy from them. So to be in a business where I can interact with people, be able to help them with their goals, people who also had the weight challenges that I've always had, and also had those income challenges that can come no matter where you are in life. That combined is why I love what I do. And my journey was primarily built through Instagram. So that six figures in 6 months ordeal really came from the Instagram platform. And to this day, I'm like, girls are just still throwing, I have a girl throwing her number in my inbox as we speak. I'm like, hi, I'm Patrice. How are you? I have your number now. How can I help? So it's still something that is very viable for us, and we're always adjusting as Instagram changes, but we do love Instagram. So I get to share some tips with you guys tonight on that.
Yay. So I'm really excited about the Instagram stuff because I've been learning some new stuff with Instagram because, you know, I'm not an Instagram girl. It stresses me out. And you left out the part that, like, you realize in a few months you're going to be a stay-at-home mom.
Hey, it was just so exciting. And that's like my dream. You know, like I always said I wanted to homeschool my kids. I always had that vision. And when we started It Works, we knew that was part of the plan. We knew we'd have a baby one day, but that was what all the hard work went into. We wanted to both be stay-at-home parents. We both wanted to have the option to, you know, not have to use daycare. Daycare doesn't have the best rep right now, as far as I know. So I would like to have the option to be stay-at-home, to be able to homeschool and provide the education that our child would need, and just be able to have the freedom. You know, we're both hippies at heart, so we would like to be able to travel and help our kid experience life through experiences and not just through storybooks and TV. So definitely have vision for that, and we're so excited it's coming to fruition.
Yay, I'm so excited for you guys. I am. Okay, so let's talk Instagram. I mean, and we talked a little bit of this. Let me try again. We talked a little bit about this at our team meeting last night because we did some social media stuff. And I think you and I are pretty similar in that there are some top earners who legitimately spend like 14 hours a day on their Instagram. I don't know about you, but I didn't join this company to work 14 hours a day.
No, not it.
They're like, well, Jade Hooper has like 3 iPads. And I'm like, what? Why? Like, I can't. So, and that's also a reason that I wanted you on here, because I know that you're also, and I'm hoping you're not, at least, you build relationships. You don't cold message all the people. So I would really love to hear kind of what your day looks like on Instagram. What are some big things that you do? You know, do you do private versus public, the hashtagging? Like, give them some basic stuff. I'm going to let you run with it. And if I have questions, I'll hop in.
Perfect. So for me, it may be a little unconventional, like you said, because we hear people who just kind of go ham, as I say. And I've never really been that person. I haven't built through I'm a yellow. So for those of y'all who love colors, I'm probably one of the only yellow top earners ever. I'm like red, 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 red. I'm not sure. Yep, red here, red Corey. So I'm one of a kind, it seems like, and it's because we are personable. We want to talk, and sometimes we can get distracted because we're just like, let's just hug. And sometimes hugging makes no money. So it has to be a blend. I'm more of an orange at times, but social media in general. So Instagram was my go-to just because I knew when I first started, Facebook was super personal, right? Like people didn't want those creepy friend requests from people they didn't know. And the culture's lifted. And of course, you guys have done phenomenal without my knowledge. I'm like, oh, no one can build on Facebook. It's so hard. Here you guys are slaying it. But for me personally, I didn't know that I could, use friend requesting and use the different techniques. I knew that Instagram would let me do that though. So when I looked at having zero marketing experience, my upline was 6 weeks in, no one knew anything, right? And even with our ambassador Diamond now, Ranessa, she may have been 3 months in when I joined at the most. This whole, we were all brand new. So there wasn't this, oh my goodness, here's the game plan. We literally winged it. And for my own personal, hey, Instagram, people don't mind random followers. So if I wanted to rep the entire city of Baltimore, and I started with my friends. So the same technique you guys probably use on Facebook now that I know this. I went to all my friends that had babies, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to add all of her friends. So I kind of started local and built my network from there. So if a girl had a baby, I would the picture and say, oh my gosh, so cute, right? And then I would go to a friend that also commented on that picture who said, oh my gosh, she's so pretty. And I would go to her page add her and then do the same exact thing. At least like it. I didn't want to be a complete creep at that point. So I'm like, oh, I'll just like it because I don't know who she is just yet. And I really built organically from there using the Instagram platform. And that really built a local network for me that let me tap into what became rap appointments. I even rapped a local DJ here in Baltimore because of that technique, just going through finding people who look like they would like a rap or had a family in some sort, just of age to want to be interested in how they look and can actually pay for it. So I kind of focused in that 20s to 35, 40 age range. And then that was kind of where I started. At that point, it just led to people who were like, oh, hey, she looks like me. She's the same age range. She is the same background. And it allowed for me to do those rap appointments because I didn't have a ton of friends. So I wasn't sure where I would get all of this continuous business from. My other techniques from there were thinking of what else was local. I knew of some local clothing boutiques here, some hair salons that came to mind, and I did the same technique. Let me follow from these pages that I knew would have people who would be interested in beauty and how they look. And that really is how I built my initial local Baltimore team because it allowed for me to navigate. That quickly transferred from Baltimore to DC because it's super close. And I got my first double diamond from DC. So it just kind of went down the road. And same technique. We just started going. So then we're like, hey, maybe we don't have to just do boutiques in Baltimore. Maybe we don't just have to just do radio stations in Baltimore. So we did a radio station tour and we just looked up radio stations in different areas, and we knew we would get people from that place. Right. So it was just this just organic, what makes sense? Where would we find people who would want this? And then that was the core. So a big piece was the networking piece. We have organically built our following base because we build it every day. We don't do the let's not sleep life with it. Instagram rules have drastically changed. When we first started, we could do a lot more people in a day and not have a limit, but we still have been pretty persistent with that, and that's been key. The next piece is posting, right? So we have heard the 3-3 rule, and I think we just kind of did it organically. We didn't know it had a name. We just knew throughout the day we needed to post, and we knew our prime times. So everyone kind of wakes up and checks their phone. So we made sure at 8 a.m. you would see something from us. And if you weren't East Coast, when you woke up at 7 a.m. or 6 a.m., it'd be floating there in your news feed. The same goes for something fun at lunchtime, and then making sure that around 5, 8, 10, people love midnight hour type stuff. We knew we wanted to be present at the hours that mattered. So we just posted, and we were just super blog-like in terms of what we posted. It wasn't just a before and after, you should buy this. It was genuine excitement about that person's experience. So it wasn't just a, hey guys, I'm selling this wrap for $59. It was this mom was so upset because nothing she was doing was working. And now she tried 2 wraps and she's so excited to see her body's coming back. So we really put that emotion in those before and after posts. In our opportunity posts were always before and after, in that sense too of, hey you guys, like I couldn't even afford my work clothes and I just went out to Express and I didn't even need a sale. That kind of thing. So we were very thoughtful in our posts, and that helped to build, like you said, relationship. People were attracted to me and then my team because they knew we weren't just throwing out this just to get you to bite. You could see genuinely who we were, that we really were excited about this product, that this business was changing our lives. I remember the first post when I shared I paid my rent with Rap Cash, that people came out of the woodworks to know what I was doing. And it didn't require me to, again, go hardcore, heavy, numb fingers messaging people. It was just responding back to people who said, I've been watching you grow. And I've been super grateful the whole time. I didn't expect to make this much money. So every day that we did something phenomenal, where it was just getting a new inquiry or signing a new customer, I was genuinely excited about that. And it lets people watch you grow. So a lot of my business has been attraction marketing in that sense, where people see the excitement. I have constant new eyes on my page from different places. Of course, we're open in new countries. So Instagram makes it really easy to navigate those new countries, because now you can just hey Google, like, what do those Austrians like, where are they at, and you can start to add to your network that way. But those were the core two. And, at that point I had a Google Voice number because I worked full time. So I could respond back to people through my computer. And that would allow for me not to look like I was a complete, checkout, which I was, but it didn't look like it. But that was really how the core of what Instagram looked like for us. And we just adjusted as the rules changed, but the core of what we do is still the same, being as authentic as possible. Still going through, I've recruited so many distributors because I just commented on their post. And just like, hey, a girl's working out, like, good luck with your journey. So excited to see, you're getting started. Just being a person, like, being warm with people. People really do post to get that love. And we've learned that through our journey with It Works. People don't post for no one to care. So when you take the time out as a business owner or not to stop and say, hey, what you put up was important. This is really cool. You look really cute today. And just helping to build that relationship that way. People are like, they'll engage back with me. Well, I've been thinking about contacting you about your products, or just in general, thank you so much. Like, your hair is pretty. So I've had these back and forth conversations, and they haven't always been product forward or like buy this type of comments at all. But people knew with me being authentic in the way I marketed, and then they can also see she's a real person who likes my pictures, not like, blows up their page likes, but like just kind of like, hey, you came up on my newsfeed and I sit, and just like everyone else does, my scrolling is not in vain though. So we get yelled at for scrolling, and you should get yelled at if you're not doing anything. But if you're going to scroll, make sure you are stopping to comment, stop to like, stop to show the love to people, because they are paying attention. When they put something up, they wait, and they're like, is she going to comment? Is someone going to like my picture? How many likes do I have right now? So I like to be part of that community. So just general throw out tips. I can go more in depth, but I wanted to stop and make sure you guys didn't have any questions so far.
If you guys have any questions, use the chat feature for me, because it's just easier for my whole life. than trying to have you guys unmute yourself. So hit up the chat. It's at the bottom of your screen. You can just click it and send it to all. I love that because, while they're asking questions, we watch a lot of top earners. I told you they have like 1 million iPads and they are constantly messaging people. And honestly, for me, as a Facebooker, that's the number one thing that turns me off from Instagram, because I am such a relationship builder. And you hear, oh, you have to follow, unfollow, follow, unfollow, follow, unfollow. And I'm like, well, I don't have time to even know who these people are.
Yeah.
So for me, that was the very hard thing. So it's, and I'm sure the team will agree, it's very refreshing to see that there's a top earner that's not spending all of their time doing all of the unnecessary, I don't know, I don't even consider it marketing. It's just cold messaging. I might as well buy phone numbers and call them. Okay, so I had the question of what kind of hashtags do you use? So before you answer that, is your profile, is it public or do you do private? Because for those of you who don't know, if it's private, hashtags are irrelevant.
Right. I am public, and I'm actually, like, Corey and I were just talking, they just updated Instagram, where it's going to be more so coded, I guess. I'm not good with techie words, but they're going to basically choose what comes up on your feed. It won't just be in chronological order. So we are going to look more into hashtags to see, but I haven't used them at all up until this point to grow, which is crazy, right? I'm like the only people who do not use hashtags.
Well,
it's just organic.
Instagram is owned by Facebook, so it was inevitable that they were going to start filtering posts.
Correct. We knew it, so now we know, hey, gotta play along with the game. But when I first started, I'm always thinking about myself and what would attract me. So the same way you would hate a cold message, I wouldn't respond to a business that's posting hashtags. So to me, I would be like, oh my gosh, she's trying to get likes. Like, she's not being authentic. Right. So of course the idea about hashtags has evolved over time. People use them more. There aren't business owners, but I knew when I first started, I didn't want to look weird or look like I was trying to find a market to like my stuff. So the hashtags attract people to your posts, and it works really well. But because I had spent so much time being authentic with my audience and liking their stuff, I didn't want them to feel like it was this disconnect where I'm like trying to find people from wherever, but then I'm trying to be just a regular girl who's just sharing what this product is doing. So most of the people, if not all, who've come to me, I've had a girl say, I found you on my Explore page like once or twice. But outside of that, there have been people who said, you followed me. And that's always a dialogue that people have given me. So I'm going to look into it. I'll keep you guys posted, because we and Corey were just talking about that earlier today. Maybe we'll see what we can do with that, because we don't want to lose our influence because we're not playing the game.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we talked about this with Facebook, and I'll be on your team call next week, but we talk a lot about how Facebook changes the game, and you have to change the way that you word things and the way that you do things, and it's a big headache. So it was inevitable that Instagram was going to catch on. So Heather wants to know, do you keep track of everyone you're building a relationship with somehow, or only the people who just show interest? So are you, I'll use Lisa Fuller as an example, because her and I are good friends. If she meets you in public, obviously different than Instagram, but if she meets you in public and she gets you on your Facebook, she keeps a list. And like every other week, she goes and she follows up specifically with you to keep things going. Do you do something similar?
Great question. So again, my strategy is changing. Up until now, no, I hadn't. And the reason why is because with Instagram, a lot of people who I follow have been private. And when I have to go and unfollow, unfortunately, I can't see them anymore. So Instagram is not really friendly with you when you're trying to contact someone you're not following. So I tried that technique for a little bit. I'm like, crap-tastic. Like, I can't even see this girl's page anymore. So I had to just, but they didn't unfollow me, which was awesome. So I made sure I provided value. So like my page is like the F's is not perfect, but I really am organic. So I post funny stuff. They know what makes me laugh. They know I love pizza. So they know certain things about me through social media. So people don't unfollow me necessarily because I've provided value. When I unfortunately have to unfollow them because I reach my 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 cap as to who I can follow. So I have seen girls do that. I admire them. because my life gets so hectic. Like you said, it is hard to keep track of who I am interested in and then not unfollow them because I have to just kind of mass it. Like there's an unfollow day. And then I even get help with that. So I will hire people now that will help me on days where I'm just like, can't do it. Attention span's not happening. So I do get help with that. And it's even harder when someone's helping me unfollow to say, hey, that girl's on my list. But what happens now, the DM system is phenomenal. That was a game changer for us because people do feel comfortable or out, do power hours. That's the one thing that I've changed this last maybe 6 months that I hadn't done prior to, which is I don't go absolutely crazy with the messaging, but now I do have that time where I'll go through my likes, and that helps preserve and makes the list more possible, I guess, now for me. So I'll do the like as a lead, and I'll go through whoever liked the picture, is to offer them more information. Same basic script that we've heard 1,000 times. I'm sure you guys know it, but I'll use that, and that allows for me to say, hey, my list is now my DM. So I don't have to write it out separately. I know to follow up with the people who are in that bucket, because I'm not good with lists. As a fuzzy yellow girl, I'm just kind of like, I just want to, so I'm vowing to get better with my life, but I hope this is reassuring that like you don't have to be a cookie cutter in terms of how you use the system, but my success really comes from people providing value. My page, people learn about the product without me shoving it down their throat. They don't have to see a bunch of impersonal stuff, so I don't have to do a bunch of impersonal techniques to retain or recruit. Being authentic means that people are like, hey, I kind of want to know more about you, or they're like, I love your grandma. You talked about your grandma. So like people know things about me and they're willing to engage with me first even. So I'll get messages and texts and stuff from people who genuinely want to know more about what I'm doing. So I've thrived off of attraction marketing 100%. In terms of people just coming into me, but I am being more diligent this year in terms of how I follow up, and it really is my DMs for both Instagram and Facebook. It's like, hey, y'all are my list. Like if I message you, you show me interest in some way, here's how I'm gonna go through and close the people who are interested.
Excuse me, sorry.
That's right.
This adoption is killing me, guys.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
I'm like exhausted. And my kid was up at 7:30, so you'll understand that soon enough. Anyway, so I was gonna ask you something, because what I like about this is that like you almost make me feel like I could use Instagram. Almost. Like just a little bit. Because like, just like a tiny bit. I'm going to actually start using it for the adoption and start to build a following that way. Because then I can like interact with people who are going through it and build those relationships. And actually, side note, and it's going to be recorded so I'll remember, I've been thinking about an Instagram auction, and I need to pick your brain a little bit about Instagram, but that'll be later. So I like that you build those relationships and that you're authentic. So I know one of the big things that people do, and they hear other people talk about, and I'm pretty sure you don't use it, so we're going to go with it. You don't use the programs that auto like and auto comment or anything like that, do you? Or you do?
Their work. No, they're actually, I tried it. It was brought to my attention maybe a year ago, and I was like, OMG, Jesus heard me. And I'm like, let me go see what I can do with this thing. And unfortunately, it's so much work for me because I have to think about what I want to say, and I have to think about what's a universal comment that'll always make sense. And I have to go and make sure that, like, I had guides, like I had a Baltimore local page. I wanted to build an exclusive Baltimore audience. Right. So I said, let me make a page. Maybe I can automate that page where people will just, it can be more focused. And I had guys inbox like, you like my picture, huh? I'm like, oh, this isn't going well. So just my experience with it, with that, like 2 months I tried it. I didn't love it. It actually created more work because now I have to backtrack. Or a girl's like, so you like think his picture is nice, huh? I'm like, I can't write, like, don't do that. There's so many conflicts. So it's awesome for people, I guess, depending on how their mind works. But because my business has worked so naturally, it required me to kind of break my mold a little bit and have to learn a different way that wasn't guaranteed. So it's phenomenal for a lot of people. I have a girl who rocks it out. She's a master at it, and I haven't exposed it to my team in a large way because I knew it requires you to be super diligent. Like this girl is like, she's an Instagram robot. Like she has like 17 pages. Like you can literally this is her thing. It's her niche. So she thinks in that realm. But for me to be how I am, it doesn't process in my brain that way. So can it work? Absolutely. But for me, Instagram doesn't require you to be anything more than a blogger. And I think I'm seeing parallels between how I use Instagram and how you guys probably use Facebook, because I didn't know how you guys were using Facebook. I didn't get it. But now I see it, the same way that you would have trouble automating Facebook in that way. How would you know? It's kind of the same for me. So, get it. I completely love the concept in a way they've improved that technology. But it did create more work for me to think about how am I going to teach this robot to work as Tracy, and it just was hard.
Well, and for me, it's not as personal. I mean, the few times that I've gotten it on Instagram, I'll see the comment and I'm like, that's not a real person. Like that person, that's not someone who actually commented. That's you didn't even match it up. Like you told me picture and it was like my kid had been puking all night. Like,
yeah. And that was my concern, being inauthentic and then ruining the chance. Whereas if I follow them and, but I get it also because, hey, there are times where I max out of my followers and being able, you can always like and comment, but you can't always follow. So I'm like, hey, I see the benefit, but I may ruin a connection because that comment was just ill-timed, and you really can't get a comment that'll always do it all the time. So yeah, not quite.
I'm trying to think of what the other question was. Do you do any auto posting on Instagram? And
I have. So I have not really getting great with it, but I have. So Corey actually does it, and he does it in a way that I love. He has Instagram is 3 columns. So he has a system where one column is all selfies and lifestyle. One column is all funny, miscellaneous stuff. And then one column is all before and afters. It looks great. Right. So his technique with it and how he used it and made it into a system for him is great. When I first saw it, I'm like, again, Jesus Herbie. But again, it does require pre-planning. I do a little bit more pre-planning on Facebook than I do on Instagram platform. But I think it can be, especially again, once the baby gets here, I'm pretty sure y'all will never see an organic post for a good 3 or 4, maybe 7, 10 years, just because I'm going to have to figure life out. But I have done it. I do like the concept of that. Out of all the systems that we've talked about so far, that's my favorite. It's my caption, it's my picture. At the same time, I can still time it out when I want to use it. I don't have to think twice about, OMG, whatever I was going to freak out about before. I missed the time period. But for me, if I'm scheduling stuff, because I schedule posts in groups, I schedule posts on my Facebook page, it was another system that it was hard to create a third wheel, but I do like it. Of course, people, especially with different teams being in different places, I tried to be as duplicatable as possible, and I knew people weren't always going to be able to afford or be willing to say, I'm going to pay to do this. So that's also why I haven't really shared that concept, because my head can't take the from paying for it. But I think it's dope. I do like the concept. It's a game changer for Corey, because again, it helps him, his mind works in like little shelves. Right. So it helps him shelve his life the way he needs to. So it's Garrison approved.
Yeah, I had to pull up his Instagram just because he said that, and you almost don't even realize that he's doing it.
You see that? Isn't that crazy? And that's why I love it. It doesn't look forced.
But you just don't quite realize that he's doing it. So his face or his Instagram is very clean and nice.
And he can only do that because he's actually sitting down and seeing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. He's pulling content that matches his system. So, for him, it's a godsend.
Is he green?
He's actually red. Super duper. Team scared of him red.
Because I'm super red, and the idea of doing that with my Instagram, it kind of makes me die on the inside. Like,
okay.
I'm more of I've got a kid that's having a panic attack, and I'm like making my post. Like, believe me, it'll happen organically when there's a baby. When you're up in the middle of the night, you'll be like queen of Instagram at 2 a.m. You'll
right. You'll figure it out, but for some reason that works really well for him. It looks great. So as a red, he has no green. Like, he literally will not read anything. He just passes it over, whether it's car insurance, Instagram, whatever, slides the words over to me.
I'm impressed. As a fellow red, I'm impressed by his abilities. I'm gonna follow. In 2 weeks, guys, we're gonna have Corey on.
Hey, yes.
If you guys did not go to the One Team One Mission, they are nothing short of a power couple. They the energy, you guys just draw your energy from each other. Like, you're both just like, she gave him the mic first, and she was like, he's better at this than I am, so he gets to do his thing first. So
he loves One Team One Missions. I'm kind of like, okay, we have to talk today. So he's like, yes.
He's like, I just want to hug people. I just want to hug them. You talk, I'll hug. Yeah, we'll totally have to get Corey on one night. Does anyone have? Oh, we have chat questions. Good. Okay. They want to see his page. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Oh, I already know the answer to this one, but someone said, do you post your stuff to Instagram and then do the auto share to Facebook?
We got yelled at about that at one point in life, where I was doing that 100%. Like, when I first started, I'm like, this is a cool tool. But then again, algorithms change, and I didn't know it didn't matter at that point because my audience, it didn't matter. But now that I know it hurts your chances of being seen by your organic Facebook friends, I did stop doing that. So they don't always align now. Honestly, my Facebook posts are really like geared to Facebook, and we learned that too. You have to make sure you're speaking to the platform in which you're speaking on. So every post doesn't always from Instagram doesn't always apply to Facebook, and I actually use Facebook more in a natural way, where I'm just posting random stuff, because you can do text, you can do video, you can do all these different medium forms. So you'll see more from me on Facebook than on Instagram. So I did, even when I stopped, I'm like, hey, now that I'm shifting, I can see how maybe it wouldn't be a good idea to just auto dump because the content doesn't always match.
No, and I tell people this all the time. I mean, I can post my kid went pee on the potty on Facebook, and I'm going to get 300 likes. Like, everyone cares about my kid's potty habits on Facebook. Instagram, they don't care about my kid and her potty. Like, they don't. So here, I'll try. Oh, let me turn my brightness down for you guys. I think that works better. He also, it looks like he uses like Textgram or not Textgram, Insta size or whatever.
Yeah, he does space his photos out, so he did make the transition. But you guys can see he got it changes too. So every time he posts, it shifts the column, so it never looks the same to his followers. But you see selfies on one side, before and after.
When you look at the very first few, you don't notice it, but as you scroll through, because like you said, it shifts it. So you'll notice before and afters and stuff are all right down the middle. And he's got his selfie stuff on that side, and then he has like inspirational or whatever else miscellaneous stuff he's putting in. Like, it's nice. It would have never occurred to me. And as he posts, it shifts. But right now, like, you like, dang, this is nice. And I'm like, Corey needs to come run my Instagram.
And that's all him. No one taught him that. That's just like, he's like, hey, I want to, be a fancy man, and that's what we're doing here.
Well, he obviously played a lot of Tetris, because he somehow in his head looked at Instagram's grids and went,
do something with them.
It's here. So he has that kind of, and that's probably where my red doesn't understand it, because I don't look at things like that. I'm always trying to stick the round peg in the square hole. Like,
because it's gonna work. I said so.
he's like, oh look, it'll fit like this. So that's pretty awesome. Let me see if we have anyone else have any questions? Patrice, is yours for the picking, and then we're gonna let her go to bed because I'm sure that's what she's gonna do.
Actually gonna find some food. I'm excited about
it's either food or sleep. I understand. Yeah. I'm not even pregnant, and I understand. If you have any questions, hit up the chat for Miss Patrice.
Yes. I mean, I hope.
Go ahead.
I hope that like this is helpful. I know it's a different perspective, but like we have heard so much. Like Jay Hooper does phenomenal training on Insta, so I don't have to cover some of the basics like your bio. You guys have heard about that. Your profile picture. You guys have heard about that. But if you can learn anything from me, is knowing that Jay works in systems. And that's how her mind works. Mine works in terms of just authenticity. I can't be someone I'm not and do it every day. So I have to make sure that whatever I do has to kind of come from the heart, and people appreciate that. So I'll give you guys some ending tips before we go, but I do want to make sure you guys don't have any other questions before.
And I think that's big because like we can't all be that person. I think when I tried Instagram, I got burned out because I was trying to do the Jade Hooper method. And it works for a lot of her team, but that's not how my brain works. And it was like overload. So it didn't work. Let me see. Most of them are saying, thank you, you're awesome, but I already knew that. At least they're all afraid of Corey, so that when I'm on your call next week, they won't be offended by my red.
Yeah, no, because I'm a good buffer because he's super direct. So
I am the same, so that's why they're all going to love you right now. Someone said, how did you get your husband involved? My husband helps, but we don't know how to work it as a team. You guys have your own pages and stuff, though. You guys...
We're super, like, we have two different businesses. Yeah. So what happened was he was like, okay, like, someone got you, and, like, I just need you to know, like, you know, this may not be good. So first it was that, like, you know, this is a pyramid scheme type of speech, right? Because I know no better. I don't have a master's. Then it was the, why are you on your phone so much? You know, like, this is like, you know, I need to talk, like, we need to have a talk. And like, we've never even had a talk in our whole relationship. Like, what do you need? Like, are you hungry? Like, what are we talking about? So I was super confused. And then it went from, where's all this cash coming from? And I'm like, yeah, like, I've been rapping these girls. And like, he would match up the pictures from my Instagram or my Facebook to the girl's pants he saw walking into the back room with me. He's like, I remember that girl, like, she had those funky pants on, like, she got that kind of result. I'm like, yeah. So it wasn't even like I was forcing it on him. And then of course just the income. But what I did to help facilitate that, I made it our business. You know, I would ask for his advice on things like, hey, Corey, like, what do you think about, you know, this background for this thing? I mean, whatever I can find, or I take him with me to shop for wrap parties. So I would have him help me pick out the tablecloth. Like, it's just small stuff. But I never wanted him to feel like it was my business and he had to like take my business. So I always, even when it wasn't like he was doing exactly what I was doing, I just made him feel like it was ours. So I'm like, oh, hey, like, you know, a girl's coming over. And I would just kind of brief him on it. Like, this girl's like, she has 2 kids. So like, you know, I'm excited to meet her kids. And he's like, he loves kids. So he's like, oh yeah, cool. So like, I really did my best to make it like a family thing, even when it wasn't yet. Even though I was getting fussed out about it. And then for 2, what I did was really helped him see and made him part of the profit, you know? So again, I bought our food with it. You know, I would share with him what I made. He was very much a part of that process in terms of the before, during, and after. He was on conference calls indirectly, right? I would kind of like have him be sitting right here and I'm listening to a YouTube video. So there were just little ways in which I planted it on him. But really, y'all, like, the biggest way that he got excited was the income. So that just kind of gives the folks who are like, how did you do that? But how did he play a role? We learned this from Stephanie and Joel Dunn. Almost merged their names. Stephanie and Joel Dunn in our very first boot camp. And they talked about play to your strength. So in our business, again, you can kind of see like we have this like, Sour Patch Kid relationship in terms of our team. So I'm sweet, he's sour, but like you love the candy. So when my team needs to be fussed out, Corey gets called in. They're scared. My team, I personally enroll. I'm like, if y'all don't get it together, Corey's gonna get on this call. I'm gonna make Corey call you. And they're like, okay, I'm sorry. Like, what do I have to do again? Like, they literally will run. And then when he needs softness, when he has a girl going through, who just gave birth, or a girl who is really down in the dumps, like he calls me in. So I'm personally mentoring his triple diamond right now, because she needs soft. She's like, I know if I go to Corey, he's gonna fuss me out. But if I go to Patrice, she's gonna, stroke my hair and tell me I'm pretty. And that's literally like this relationship that we.
No, Patrice really will stroke your hair and tell you you're pretty.
You're pretty. She saw it.
More than one.
People who against their will, basically. So yeah, that we have this thing. So it was finding the niche and knowing that, like, hey, there's something that your husband does really well. Maybe it's like detail-oriented stuff. Maybe it's, organizing the room for a wrap party. Maybe it's like my dad makes me look introverted. Like if my father was and I'm not even ready. No one's ready for him. But if my dad was part of this business, he'd be my blitzer, because he's super, hey, did you order fish from the aisle 3? Well, why did you get that brand? Hey, sir, how much does your shoes cost? Like that's my dad, right? So like he's totally someone that you can send out into the field and blitz, where I'm more so I may blitz a person or two. I'm not going to run out and talk to every person in the supermarket, but if I like this girl's sweater, I'm going to tell her so. And if I talk to her and she's a Facebook page, we're going to be Facebook friends. So I'm super organic with that. So yeah, you know him better than anyone else. What is it that he loves to do? And that's all that I ask Corey to do, is what he personally loves and what he's gifted at. I don't make street stuff. Corey's not going to do it, okay? I'm not going to make him talk to people for extended periods of time. He'll turn his face because he's an introvert. So I try to just, keep him into where he can be maximized and where he can feel good about the work that he's contributing and what he's doing. But he does have his own business. He personally his triple, his doubles, his diamonds. So he really did do through Instagram the legwork that it took, because he's himself. And we're even rebranding him because he does better. Reds are good in person. You guys, your energy does really well in person. So we're trying to rebrand him on social media to do more videos and things where people can get that like fire, because he doesn't like to type out captions and stuff. He doesn't care about grammar or anything like that. So we're working on that. No time.
All right, last question before you wrap up with your tips. How often, she said maybe she missed it, but how often are you posting, and how much time following and interacting every day are you spending?
I did a day, right? So posts on Instagram, I do 3 to 5. So I don't do as much as some people do. 3 to 5 I do a lot more on Facebook because it's lifestyle. It's just me in the moment. But on Instagram, it's more thought out. So I do at least 8 a.m., 5 p.m., 8 p.m., or 10 p.m. and or type of thing. And I kind of stick to those times. I found when I post in between, people really weren't even paying attention. So I didn't really see me personally. And it could be because of hashtag, I'm not using them. I don't know. But I noticed that my efforts weren't matched with the interaction as much in those off times. So I stick to what I know. In terms of how much time do I spend liking and commenting, that's really organic. Like I always am a face and phone girl, regardless of what's happening in my life, important or not. So my liking is not a conscious effort to say I'm going to spend 4 hours today doing that. As I'm scrolling, I just make it part of my life. But if I had to give you guys something to take with you, because you guys are super busy, the timer approach, like, power hours, breaking things down into 15 minutes. So maybe 15 minutes making up, your couple posts for tomorrow. I just interviewed a girl on social media, and she mentions that she takes all her pictures, like her lifestyle pictures, the day before, and then posts them the day of. So she spends that time preparing her posts. But what you guys could do is time it out and just take 15 minutes and just consciously like and comment. And that way, you know, you've done it without, if you never had that time in between the day to just do that. But for me, it's just super organic. For me, I measure my success based off of the interaction of my posts. People do feel comfortable posting and like commenting on my stuff. So when I see my comments are not really like there, I'm like, okay, I'm boring people. So I try to make sure that I'm keeping up with what people want to see and making sure that I'm also, again, being consistent with being that, being present, not overly like hovering, but I hope that helps.
Absolutely. All right, final tips.
Final tips before we go. So your social media really should be a blog. That's like the best tip I can give you guys. So if you were just being paid to be, you know, first name, last name.com on your Instagram, what does your life look like? And I think Jay did a really good job showing that to us, how it should look, but making sure you understand that each of you guys have influence. Someone's going to see your page, your life, your story. Each of you guys are important as is, and we overthink Instagram because we're like, I have to be someone I'm not, and you don't. So I really want to encourage you guys to be excited about it. Use it as a platform to really show who you are, you know, what you think is cute, what you think is funny, what you guys like to do, your vision for your life and your family. It should be coffee talk, you know, just basically what you would like to see on your time feed. Positivity, just personal family stuff, just having fun. And just knowing that your post should just trigger an emotion, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram. People should read your post and be excited to see your tag, your thing, whatever, your username, whatever. So that's really been what has made or broke people who are on my team. Are people excited to see your posts? You know, are you being Craigslist or are you being Kathy? You know, who are you when you post? So that has played a huge role. And just your vibe attracts your tribe. So the vibe you give off on social media in general will attract people altogether. Some people just may not want to be part of your tribe yet because you've been scared to be you. So be you, have fun with it, and just, you know, have a system that's going to work for you guys. There are tons of tools, but don't feel overwhelmed. You don't need them all. Find out what works best for you guys and run with it.
I like it. All right. I kept you way longer than I thought I would, but I'm not complaining because people are going to be excited. So guys, I will make a post on my personal page and tag Miss Patrice so you guys can give her some love, because I know, because she's yellow and that's going to make her so happy.
Like fuzzies.
It's going to be like all of these virtual hugs. It's going to be amazing. I can already tell. So we're going to give her lots of love and tell her how awesome she is. And we're going to get out of this. Start blasting some good stuff on Instagram. So we have one more chat. I'm sure everyone's telling you thank you and they love you. They did. They're all telling you thank you and they love you. And I knew that they would. So Miss, so much for your time tonight. I like super appreciate you. And go get food and sleep.
Yes. To hang out with you guys. Thanks for having me. You guys have an awesome night.
Thank you.